You know, sometimes we have to go back and, take another trail, Maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's where the human race is at. My name is Vince McIntyre. I'm 67 years old. I'm a farmer and I do woodworking, various, a jack of all trades, you might as well call me, yeah. I've lived here since 1979. I found this place by accident and decided to camp here. When Amber was, my daughter was 2.5 years old, I'd brought her up here because my girlfriend, we were, both of us were homeless, eh? And I was wondering where we were going to spend the winter. There was an old man in Johnson's Landing. He wanted me to get him some poles for his chicken house to build, and he knew there was nice straight cedar poles up here. So I take Amber up here and we get some poles, but in the process Amber forgets her red shoes, eh? I had to bring her back up here to get her red shoes, so I brought my girlfriend up here, and I was just wanting to see how she felt about the place, and she was just totally amazed by the place. So it was so beautiful, the panorama of the mountains and the lake and all that, I just thought that'd be a nice place to live. Yeah. I made an effort at one time, myself and my wife, to get buy or lease this where we live here, because we've been here so long and we put so much effort into making clearings and gardens and so on that it's not private, it's not real estate, and it's a crown land. And but after about 8 years of application and trying and so on, we got turned down, and so that was the end of that effort. So it feels very permanent in the sense that it feels like home. This is most at home I feel any place since I left the place I was born. So this is where I decided in the world to settle down. When I hit my mid-40s, I decided, this work that I'm doing is totally meaningless to me, going out there and putting 3 bags on and making a bunch of money, and any amount of it, I got so that this is just playing figures for the government, that it's not very effective, and it justifies cutting down more forests. So I decided I'm going to try not to have to do this, and that's when I decided to farm. I come to realize that this is really important to feed my family and my friends and people around me. If you go and work in a automobile factory and you put 4 bolts in a radiator and that's all you know how to do, and you have you're dependent on being in a certain way with your superiors, otherwise you lose your job. You can't be real. If you have a mortgage, you have to say and do things that you don't want to do. It limits a whole lot of things about you, My farm is spread out in the community of Argenta. I have 4 plots of land in Argenta, and one field is about 2 acres, and the other 3 fields have about approximately an acre each. And my crops are simple. I grow mostly winter vegetables for storage, like potatoes and carrots and cabbage. The way I live isn't ideal. It has its drawbacks. So I make the best of what I do have, and it's a good experience. I get to see the flats and the beauty of the natural world and the river flowing and the changes in the weather. You might think that I spend a lot of time on my own, but I don't. But most of my connection with people is through the stuff I do. I'm not fond of machinery and tractors and so on because it cuts out your communication with people. I find that the more mechanical advantages you get, the less need you have to communicate with people, and so it dehumanizes the whole thing, and I think that's what's wrong with one of the things wrong with industrial agriculture is it's a lonely life. I figure working from the heart and working with a sense of freedom is you gotta have the balance, eh? You have to have the discipline to get up in the morning when you have to. You have to be courageous and you have to put up with discomfort and all this stuff. And you have to see what you're doing as being fairly important, and maybe a part of your survival, and then you can do what I do.